We're now in March. This is my last day in the Shamba, and I want to go through the update and take you around again. I can give you first an overview, so that you see it from this place. Right now it's still very dry, the rain has not started. You can see that in other places. So let me start as I usually do. This time I can actually start with this one because it has some interest. This is the bed now for oats, and the oats are now starting to produce seeds. And these ones, they have done really well. For a time here I got some problem because of lack of water, but they've really been quite stress-free. Yes, weeding kidogo, and then they have grown well. Only problem with them have been the seeds. The seeds were naked and they were taken by the seeds were removed the cover because the seeds were for eating. But I planted them and some have grown, others have been eaten by ants. So I foresee oats can do really well, especially in Poro and Malas area in Maralal, in Samburu land. When it comes to my sweet potato, they are doing okay. Yes, in this area there was a time I didn't have enough water, so a lot of things have dried, and now I've tried to dig again some pits so that water stays well when I irrigate. And I have some skumawiki on the side here, but I have seen it's not the best place for them. The idea was when it rains, this one will get a lot of water from this place and from the water that comes up, but it hasn't rained, so the location where they are drying a lot. I've not been able I've not been mulching a lot also. This place will become a good shade, but for now this low-kitting species shading its leaves. You see a lot of mulch. The Sespania is growing well, and they have flowered and seeds are now getting produced. This is the 8th month of its lifespan. Skumawiki is better off in this place, and spinach is not doing well. The birds are eating them quite severely. They are doing well in other places, and now the beans have been ready here. So this place was very good in the rainy season, but now it's not as good because here it's far away from where I have my drip irrigation. So I just water by the pipe, and I've not done so as much. So we can see other trees, how they're growing inside, they're starting to dry. The mananasi, the pineapple, is coming up. It has stabilized, but I've learned another design how I want to grow them. They have taken a lot of time to establish. This Sanitoy is doing well. The wild tomato is doing really well. It's giving us some sweet fruits to eat here in the Shamba. And then we have a pumpkin, and they seem to really grow well, even on top of the trellis that I built. Inside is also some passion fruit. It's really doing well. I've seen the fruits are really a nice thing here because they don't dry up so much, even when water is less. And I have had a lot of problems with water. This is a tamarillo or something like that. Blood fruit or tomato fruit. Matunda damu, it's called in Swahili. which is blood fruit, and then I have a lot of other things. This is a bed. Here I've not yet developed, it will be beds. This one I've decided to make one big bed, and I will, the thing that I've grown, they have dried, they've not done very well. The sunflowers I have harvested and given to the birds, and the rest will be a new bed with skumawiki and other things. Even I have a completely new bed with a lot of wood and manure down. It was dug down a lot, so there's a lot of soft soil and it's down. But the problem we had now was things are coming up, but not as well as we wanted. We had a problem with water, so the water was not supplied in the whole town for 10 days, and here we also had problems. So a few things have dried, especially these things that are small. Many of them did not make it, but some are surviving. So what we did, we have bought a bigger drum, 5,000 liter, because the 1,000 liter was very small for this drip irrigation, and could not give enough water for a longer period. So that's what we've done, and we are raising also the places where we are walking, because I've seen it's nice to have the places where I grow things to be lower than the place I walk, because of the hot place here. In wet areas, I would prefer you to have raised beds. Here I made raised beds because of it is easier to make a raised bed for having that soft soil in the top, but I see it's much better off when I raise the walking path. And here I've grown maize, and they've also dried a lot, as I didn't have water. And I can see the maize that I've grown, I could have spaced them more. They seem to be a bit congested. Here I had a viazi bed, and I'm now changing to be skumawiki and cabbage. And here the skumawiki are really healthy. Even the cabbages, they're really healthy, they don't dry easily. And there's a lot of dania and other things. So that's what I will be doing on a commercial scale here, is to grow actually a lot of skumawiki especially, and spinach, but I will not choose a location that is an open place. When it comes to other fruits, they are surviving well and still growing. The papaya fruits, and I have some Suspania coming up here, and we have this is I'll tell you later when I remember. Moringa coming up well, and the cabbages doing well. So this one is called managu. It's a very nutritious, quite bitter vegetable. And we have more water again. We'll be watering, especially the bottles that I have. And in these places that was my swale, I have not got a very good results from the things I grow. Here is the beetroots. They're not grown to be very big, and I blame the soil, that the soil is not very fertile here and becomes very hard. So other places where I've been digging more and putting manure, things are growing better. But here it is difficult, although beans and trees, it's doing really well, even spinaches and other things. So, and then I've harvested a lot of tomatoes. They are coming up more. They're producing very well. And I need to harvest them early so that the birds will not eat them. I've also decided to put a lot of leaves to cover the walking paths and also cover the sides of where I plant things, and even inside I put some leaves. It provides a very good mulch to keep the water and moisture there longer, as it really is needed in this hot place. So here I put with the water with the bottle irrigation, and they are doing well. But especially the ones that are doing well are the ones that are very big, because they store water for several days. The small ones, like this one, only help to put the water down in the ground, but it doesn't help for a longer period. Just make it more efficient. So it's very green. Now we are trying to change, but generally the trees are doing very well. They are surviving, and now when the rain comes, they start to grow. Even there was a time it rained very, very small, but they started to grow quite fast from there. So here you can see my sanitoi, the big ones. And all around there's other trees and beans and other things. So water is important. Here we have improved also water catchment for drought. Here you can see the daily production of tomatoes. So either 1 or 2 of this is what I produce. Spinaches are doing really well in the shade. I will continue to do that. So it is still green, and I foresee really this place to do really well in production of skumawiki and some other and dania and spinach and nyanya, the tomato. Those ones are the ones that will produce well and give some economy to this place. So here I found that these are onions, and I have seen here they grow very well compared to other places where they have shade or get disturbed. So they like to grow where they are not too shaded. I'm continuing to make another bed for mboga, and that is now the skumawiki especially, and dania. And then we now have 3 pits for converting the cactus to manure. So this one just started, but we have another one. It has been there for maybe 1.5-2 months, and now it is ready for us to take this compost to the other places in the Shamba. On this side of where I wanted the dam, I'm growing things well, although what I've seen here, the soil is very loose instead, and a lot of it is very loose, so when I put water it goes through, slips through quite easily, but and dries out quite fast. But they're doing well. The sugar canes have shooted, and I have pumpkins and inside watermelon and so many other things. I'm also improving to put dams. So this one we are putting today. This is a very simple nylon that we glued together so that it will be able to be a dam here to catch water, because the soil will not catch the water. As I told you, this side is very loose soil, so if I will just put water without the nylon, it will just go through the ground and help maybe this grass on this side. Another pumpkin doing really well. So there are several species, 3 species that I have. the pumpkin and sugarcane, and pumpkin and beans, and this is another pumpkin now. Pumpkin and beans and sugarcane. So here is a smaller dam. So I separated the two to make two, and this one does actually hold quite a good amount of water, and it is useful if there's not enough water in the drums for the drip irrigation. This one is very important now to help the water, especially to put water in the plastic bottles. This bed is very good for ñaña, as it is fertile, and it just needs to. I put some leaves on top of the trellis that I made to hang the ñañas, and this is for shading from so that birds will not find them as easy. And also, right now it is a bit hot, so I've seen they can do well with some small shade. Yeah. So otherwise, around is still dry, and I still have some areas where I want to plant trees. It's another bed that's doing quite okay, because what made it to start doing well. So I put manure and I put better soil, and I made it bigger. It's another test place for some students. I planted some small things. Another bed for a seed bed for skumawiki. They're coming up here. Many of them. That will be transplanted later on. Generally, it's still green, still doing well. The beans that are really, I've seen very good results with long-term climbers here. There's a long-term climber with a black bean, and that's my favorite now, that I will continue with. And you can see here the trees. Leukemia. There is Zanitoy, and so many are around. They're doing well. Even Kaliandra is really now doing well, established and coming up. Then there's more hole type holes where I've decided to make holes and plant. And especially I want trees to come up, and especially the trees that I want long term is this one. This is a mango and avocado. So I've just put the seed of the mango and avocado in a polythene bag, wrapped in wet paper, and put air in it and put it in the window, and after 2 weeks it have germinated. When it germinates, I put it in the ground and it comes up healthy. Actually, there's another one I want to show you that stayed longer. Here you can see it. So they're coming up well, very well. And I'm doing it in holes, because then in the holes I put a lot of manure, put sticks, another food for it, and the hard soil around will hold the water so that it doesn't seep away. This one's, even now when I didn't have water for around 10 days, they didn't really dry. It didn't really dry like the other things. I also have another type of terraria that is coming up, an amaranth species, and I bought it from the store, and I thought it was just like the local type, but I can definitely see that it's not. Also here I'm putting leaves to shade it. Other things are also doing well. Listen, I've just removed a lot of things because I want to put other vegetables alone. And this one is also doing very well. This is the mulberry tree, and we just put a stick in the ground from it, and it has germinated. I have three different areas. So here those holes for the trees are coming up, and I have other things growing together with them so that they share the water and the nutrition and get some other production. So here you can see the new tank that will help now my drip irrigation system. And now the raining season is not very far. We are starting to see some clouds forming in the evenings, and there's some wind, and we're seeing signs even on the trees, and it has started raining in other places of Kenya. So we expect when it rains, this place will be so green, and the time I will come back, which is some months to come, we'll really see a difference in this place. So I hope you learned something new. Talk to you next time.